Hello and welcome to this full-length prenatal yoga class. My name is Lexi Tavares with Healthy Dynamic Life. I'll be your teacher today. If you're interested in getting access to more full-length yoga classes, healthy recipes, tips for healthy living, wellness, fitness, weight release, happiness, all the good things in life, while being supported in an amazing sisterhood private community, then I want you to check out the Healthy Dynamic Divas membership group, link in the description. You get a 7-day complimentary trial to check all these goodies out, including full-length courses and group calls, so many amazing things. So please check it out and let's get to class. Now, before we get started, there's just a couple of points that I want to cover to make sure that we can have a safe, fun, and effective class together. So first of all, I want to say congratulations on your pregnancy. What an exciting time to be able to experience life and creating new life. That is absolutely awesome, and I'm so excited with you. One of the things that can happen to us during pregnancy because of our new hormones and our bodies changing and adapting is that we can start to notice an increased sense of flexibility and mobility in our joints. As our body prepares to give birth, this can happen in the hips, but also in other joints of the body as well. So it's really important to really connect with our bodies and remember what we could do beforehand. If you couldn't do it beforehand, please don't do it now. It might be really tempting to go further than you've ever gone before, but we could put ourselves at risk for injury if we do that. So err on the side of caution, and if you couldn't do it before, it's probably a good idea to avoid it now. Another great rule of thumb is if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. This practice is supposed to feel good, feel empowering. If the body is sending you signals of pain, listen to those messages and take a break, right? Come into child's pose at any time. Go for a pee break, go get some water, go get a snack, listen to your body's signals. That is the most important piece of advice for you today. Another piece of advice is that we want you to have fun. So stay lighthearted, enjoy this time to connect with your body and to connect with your baby. Keep breathing throughout the whole practice. That is so, so, so important, and have fun. So let's get started and gather some props. You'll probably want a blanket, at least one, maybe 2 or 3 if you have them available, a bolster or some pillows or a couple of bolsters, and some blocks or yoga eggs or both, and of course your yoga mat. So let's get all our props together and I'll show you how to set up your mat. All right, so to get started, I have my mat laid flat on the floor, and I've chosen to put it close to a wall because some of the poses we'll be doing today are going to utilize the wall, and it's convenient just to be there rather than having to move myself and my props all around my space. So if that's available to you, I highly recommend setting up your mat close to the wall. As you can see, I've placed a folded blanket across my mat, and that is to support my knees in a lot of the poses. It's just nice to have extra cushion on the knees. That might resonate with you. I also have blocks set up at the front of my mat, and I also have some eggs set up here as well, and I have my bolster and an additional blanket ready for when I like it. So to get started, let's come into a comfortable seated position, such as Sukhasana or easy pose. So just taking one heel towards the base of the spine and then the other foot in front. You could also choose to sit in Baddha Konasana, heels together, knees come open like a book. You could place blankets, pillows, bolsters, or blocks to support the knees. Really, whatever feels good. So we're gonna come into our seated pose. Feeling the sits bones rooting into the earth or the blanket or your mat. Bringing hands to the knees or wherever is comfortable for you. And then I invite you just to close your eyes, whatever has been going on in your day, any thoughts that have been racing through the mind, any feelings. Just notice where you're at now. Right here, right now. Check in with your body, check in with your breath. Notice the quality of your breath. Is it long? Is it short? Is it deep? Is it shallow? Where do you most sense the breath? Is it at the tip of the nose, the back of the throat, the chest, the shoulders, or the belly, rising and falling? Maybe cultivating that ujjayi breath, victorious breath, by slightly constricting the back of the throat, breathing in and out of the nose with the same quality as if you were fogging up a window or mirror. Nice grounding breath. Whatever thoughts or feelings come to mind, just bring your awareness back to the breath. Together, let's bring our arms out to the sides. Inhale as we reach the arms up toward the sky. Palms come together. Exhale, bring the palms through heart center and to our belly, to our baby. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Palms come together. Exhale, hands come to baby, connecting with baby. Inhale, arms reach out and up. Exhale, hands come through heart center to baby. Maybe keeping one hand on baby, one hand on heart. Continuing to breathe. Maybe talking to baby. Feeling love for ourselves and for baby. Creating an intention or an affirmation to ourselves and to baby. Amazing. Let's take 2 more breaths in and out at your own pace. Beautiful. And slowly make your way to a tabletop position. I'm going to face the front of my mat this way, bringing my knees onto the blanket in whatever way is comfortable for you. So bringing the wrists under the shoulders, knees parallel to the hips, but knees might be wider than hips to make room for baby. That's okay. And just breathe into a few cat-cows here. So inhale, drop the belly, head and the hips move up toward the sky. Exhale, chin to chest, rounding through the spine. Nice pelvic floor release here. At your own pace, moving through cat-cow. Nice and gentle, we're just warming up. Keep breathing. Moving in whatever way feels good for you. And when you feel complete, take the right foot back, toes pointing towards the earth. Lift the right foot, nice squeeze of the glute. Take the right foot across over the left foot, and then bring the right arm up toward the sky for a modified side plank. Nice twist, good balance. The wall is here if you need it. Keep breathing. Good. Take that right arm back to the earth. Take the right leg up. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back to tabletop. Maybe moving the hips side to side, whatever feels good. We're gonna come in to the other side. So I'm just gonna turn around so you can see me, but you can stay exactly where you are. So sending the left foot back, nice calf stretch here first, then bringing the left leg up to the sky, crossing over the right side, and then lifting the left arm up to the sky, inhaling, exhale, keep breathing. Nice side stretch, the back is here to support you if you need it, but you got this. Maybe sending the gaze upwards, whatever feels good for you right now. And then bringing that left hand back to the floor, left leg up to the sky. We're gonna hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back down to the earth and come back to Balasana, child's pose. So bringing the knees out wide towards the edges of your mat. You might have to adjust that, however much room you need for baby. Hips towards the heels. You could take a blanket to put in between your hips and heels. You could put a blanket underneath your ankles. You could bring a block to put your forehead on. Whatever is supportive and comfy for you. And remember, you can come to child's pose at any time during your practice. Keep breathing. Good. Coming back up through tabletop. Tucking the back toes, coming up to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Keeping it just a nice gentle bend in the knees, maybe widening our stance to make room for baby. Maybe pedaling the feet if that feels good for you. Keep breathing for 2 and 1. And 1 foot at a time, steps forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Having your blocks there. Bringing your hands onto your blocks, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Hands come to above the knee on the thigh as we slowly roll up into Tadasana. Ta-da! We made it to standing. So just taking a moment in Tadasana, checking in with your body, checking in with your breath, seeing how you feel. Amazing. We're going to start with Surya Namaskar A. So coming to the top of your mat, having your blocks there ready for you. Okay, so inhale, reaching arms up. Exhale, bringing the hands above the knees and the thighs, rolling down. Hands on the blocks, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Hands come down to the mat. Step back 1 foot at a time into your tabletop. Prenatal chaturanga. Bending at the elbows, keeping our knees bent. And then pressing back up to tabletop. Coming into our prenatal Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Just a nice gentle cow pose. Good. Tucking the toes under, coming back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog for 3 breaths. Good. Stepping up 1 foot at a time. Bringing hands to the blocks, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bring hands above the knees. Slowly roll up. Amazing. Let's do that again. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands above knees. Forward fold, hands to blocks. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Hands come to the floor. Knees come back one at a time into tabletop. Prenatal chaturanga, bending at the elbows, pressing through the floor. Inhale, cow. Exhale, tuck the toes under. Adho Mukha Svanasana. 3 breaths here. Keeping a nice gentle bend in the knees, widening the legs if you need to, stepping forward 1 foot at a time, hands to blocks, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lengthen, exhale, fold, bringing the hands to the thighs, coming back up to Tadasana. Take a deep breath in and out. Good. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, fold, hands come to the thighs, hands to the blocks, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, hands come to the mat. Step back, 1 knee at a time, prenatal chaturanga, bend at the elbows, press into the floor. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, or cow pose. Exhale, tuck the toes under, press back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog for 3 breaths. Stepping 1 foot up at a time, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Hands come to the thighs. Slowly rolling up to Tadasana. You're doing amazing. Let's transition to Surya Namaskar B. Inhale as you raise the arms high up and bend the knees into Utkatasana, fierce pose. Exhale, forward fold, hands can come to the thighs, then to the blocks. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, hands come down to the mat. Step back 1 knee at a time into tabletop. Prenatal vinyasa, chaturanga, bend the elbows, press into the mat, and come into your cow. Tuck the toes under, exhale, come into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog for 3 breaths. Then bring the knees down to the mat or the blanket, tabletop. Take the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hands come together to Anjali Mudra. Inhale, send the arms out in front of you. Exhale, twist open to the back. Inhale, hands come back together to heart center. Come up. And exhale, bring the hands down to the mat. Bring the right foot back into table, and we'll do our vinyasa. Bend the elbows, press into the mat. Come into your cow, tuck the toes under. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog for 3 breaths. Bring the knees back down to the mat. Step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, arms reach out. Exhale, open up into your twist. Beautiful. Bring your hands back together. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hands come back to the mat. Bring the left knee back. Vinyasa, chaturanga, bend the elbows, press into the mat. Come into your cow. Tuck the toes under. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. That's right, 3 breaths. And then we step up 1 foot at a time to our Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway left. Exhale, fold. Slowly roll up, hands on the thighs to support you. Let's flow through Surya Namaskar B 2 more times. Inhale, arms come up. Seat goes back, bending the knees. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Hands come to the mat. Step back. Chaturanga, bend the elbows. Press up. Inhale, cow. Exhale, tuck the toes. Come into your downward facing dog for 3 breaths. Nice pelvic floor release here. Bring the knees down to the mat, tabletop. Right foot comes to the outside of right hand. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms move out. Exhale, twist. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, down. Bring the right foot back, chaturanga. Inhale, cow. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Knees come down to tabletop. Left leg out by the left foot. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms out. Exhale, gentle twist. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, fold. Step back, chaturanga. Inhale, cow. Exhale, downward facing dog. Keep breathing. Step up 1 foot at a time. Uttanasana, forward fold. Using those blocks, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Hands to the knees, slowly roll up. Starting to warm up our body. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, arms come up. Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step back into table. Chaturanga. Inhale, cow. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good job breathing. You're doing great. Bring the knees down to the blanket for tabletop. Right foot to the outside of right hand. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms to heart center. Inhale, arms forward. Exhale, that nice gentle twist. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands come down. Knee meets the back and chaturanga. Cow, inhale. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Knees come down to table. Left foot comes to the outside of left hand. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, hands reach forward. Exhale, gentle twist. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back. Chaturanga, bend the elbows. Press up. Come into cow. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog for 3 breaths. One foot at a time, step forward into your forward fold, using those blocks if you need to. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Hands on the thighs, gentle bend as you slowly roll up. Very good job. So staying at the top of your mat, step back with your left leg and forward with your right leg to come into Virabhadrasana 1. To make room for baby, you might have to create a wider stance than you might have been used to. So the right toes are facing the front of your mat and the left toes are on an angle. Inhale, arms reach up, nice strong stance, supported. And breathe here. Check in with how you're feeling. Connecting to the earth, feeling grounded, safe, and supported. Sending all that energy to the baby. Amazing. Keep breathing here. Beautiful. Let's come into Virabhadrasana 2. So if you feel comfortable opening the arms and adjusting your stance. Now my left toes, the long edge of my foot is going to be parallel to the short edge of my mat, and my right toes still face the front of my mat. Now my hips are nice and open, just like a traditional Virabhadrasana 2, really rooting in through the earth, and as if I were dragging my foot in the sand toward each other, igniting the inner parts of my legs. Let the shoulders relax, shoulder blades come together. Imagine someone is playing tug of war, pulling my arms in either direction for a nice stretch, and then gaze over the right arm. I'm doing my best to keep my right knee over my right ankle. Continue breathing here, you got this. Good, now flip the front palm towards the sky. We're gonna go into Viparita Virabhadrasana and inhale, lengthen that arm up as the back arm comes down. We really wanna stay strong in our base. So you can gently let this hand rest on the back leg, or you can take it behind you into a nice, easy, gentle bind. Option to turn your gaze up toward the hand. Nice side stretch. Keep breathing here. Igniting those legs. You're doing such a great job. Good. Coming back into Virabhadrasana 2. And then straightening that front leg, we're going to come into Trikonasana. So I like to have a block ready, either in front or behind the foot. It really just depends on your body type. So I'm going to reach forward until I can't reach anymore, and then take my torso and my hands come down. So my right arm is on the block, my left arm is reaching up toward the sky. Nice lengthening here, still strong supportive base. Option to look up toward the left hand, or you could look forward or down. It's up to you, and you have the wall here to support you as well. Good. One more breath. You're doing great. Coming back into Virabhadrasana 2, and I'm going to keep my block in my hand because we're going to come into Ardha Chandrasana. So make sure you're close enough to the wall. You might want to scoot back a little bit so that you can be fully supported. And I'm going to come into my half moon using the block as support. Good job. Another option is to stay in Warrior 2. You can always come to Child's Pose, Balasana, or even another balance pose using the wall like tree with your back against the wall, or using your hand to support you. Keep breathing here. You got this. And we'll come back into Virabhadrasana 2. I'm going to leave my block there. Amazing. And I'm going to come into Goddess Pose. So first, straighten the legs. Hands come to the hips. Turn the toes toward the center. And now slightly out. So they're on an angle. I'm going to inhale, hands come to Goddess. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, straighten into 5-pointed star. Exhale, come into goddess. A little deeper. Inhale, reach up, 5-pointed star. Exhale, come into goddess. Might need to widen your stance a little bit. And allow your hips to move. Allow yourself to use the breath to fuel the movement and reverse directions. If you have an exercise ball, this is a great place to use that too. Good. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, maybe a little deeper. Including those gyrations if that feels good. Inhale, come up, turn the toes in. Exhale, we're gonna come into Prasarita. So I'm gonna bring my hands to my thighs and walk my hands forward to blocks. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Keep breathing. Good, bring the hands back to the blocks, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, hands above the knees to the thighs. Slowly roll up. Beautiful. Step to the top of your mat. We're gonna go through this sequence on the other side. So starting in Tadasana. Good, stepping the right foot back, toes at an angle. Left toes facing forward, and you might need to widen your stance to make room for baby. Inhale, arms come up, Virabhadrasana 1. Good. Strong in your support. Drawing up energy from the earth to provide everything you and baby need. Reaching up toward the sky. Energy in both directions. Keep breathing. You're doing amazing. Good. We're going to come into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. So I'm going to open my arms out to the side and adjust my stance. I'm going to spread my blocks out a little further. So my left toes are still facing the short end of my mat, and the knife edge of my right foot is parallel to the back of my mat. Good. Again, engaging the inner line of the legs, shoulders down, together, and arms reaching outward. Gaze over the front hand. Keep breathing here. Hips are open to the side. So much space. Taking up space. I deserve to be here. And so does baby. Good. Flip the front palm, reach up toward the sky as the back arm meets the back leg or comes behind the back into a gentle bind. Nice side stretch, nice strong support. Keep breathing. Viparita Virabhadrasana. You're doing such an amazing job. Maybe connecting to those affirmations or your intentions you created at the beginning of class. Good. Come back to Virabhadrasana 2. Straighten that front leg. We're going to come into Trikonasana, so sending the right hip back, reaching forward as far as you can, and then taking the arms into a pinwheel to our Trikonasana. Allowing yourself to be supported by the block. You have the wall right behind you. Maybe taking the gaze up if it feels safe to do so. Keep breathing. Bending the front knee, holding onto your block, coming back into Virabhadrasana 2 for a moment. Maybe heel toeing closer to the wall. We're going to come into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Using that wall as your support. Nice balance. Maybe having a slight bend in that front knee. Option to look up toward the sky. Beautiful job. Bend the knee, coming back through Virabhadrasana 2. Straightening the leg, turning the toes toward the front, and then ever so slightly out. We're going to come back into our goddess pose and reach up, 5-pointed star, goddess, and reach up, and come down into goddess, move those hips, and the other way, building so much strength. You're amazing, you're such a goddess. Reaching up, turn the toes forward. We're going to come into Prasarita. So if you'd like, make sure you have the blocks in front of you. Inhale, up. Exhale, bring the hands above the knees to the blocks, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, relax. Give those legs some nice time to stretch. Maybe shifting hips side to side if that feels good for you. Maybe bending one knee and the other. Maybe making some hip circles, really allowing your body to do what feels good. And if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Take a break, come into child's pose. It's all good. Good, bringing your hands back to the blocks. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, slight bend in the knees. Hands to the thighs, and slowly roll up. We're going to come into Malasana, Yogi Squat, which is really a great pose for preparing for childbirth. So come to the top of your mat. You can set yourself up or have someone help you and put a block where your sits bones can relax if you'd like a more supported pose. Or you can just bring your feet a little bit wider than hip width apart and bring your arms up. Inhale, exhale, bend the knees over the toes, hands come to heart center as we send our hips down to the earth. Maybe gently rocking side to side if that feels good. Really to build up some heat in those muscles, come up about an inch. Keep breathing, you're doing amazing. And then bring your hands to blocks or to the earth and gently come to seated. We're going to come back to easy pose, Sukhasana or Baddha Konasana. Remember the soles of the feet together and the legs open out like a book. I'm going to come into Sukhasana, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to do a gentle, easy prenatal twist. So breathing in, getting nice and tall. Left hand on left knee, right hand behind the body. Exhale, twist toward the right. Take a couple of breaths here, nice and easy. And on your next inhale, come back to center. Exhale, relax. Inhale, prepare for the other side. Exhale, left hand comes behind, gentle twist. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, relax. You're doing great. Now let's gently take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, bring the left ear towards the floor, relaxing the shoulders, just releasing any tension that might be in the neck and the shoulders. Breathing into any spaces that need some extra love. Inhale, coming back through center. Exhale, taking the opposite ear towards the floor, relaxing the shoulders. Continuing to breathe in and out of the body. Then inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, turn your head toward one side of the room. Exhale, coming back through center. Inhale, Exhale. Turn to the opposite side of the room. Inhale, coming back to center. And then using the breath to fuel some really gentle circles in the neck here. Taking your time. If there's any spot that needs some extra love, you're welcome to stay there and breathe through a couple rounds of breath before moving on. Allowing your body to relax with every exhale. And if you're going in circles, then I invite you to go in the opposite direction. Just remember to keep breathing and let the breath fuel the movement. And when you feel complete, coming back to center, take the arms behind you and gently open the chest. Option to lift the gaze. You could even use the wall as a support for your head or elbows to press your shoulders back and open up the chest. Keep breathing. And when you feel complete, pressing yourself back up to seated. We're going to extend our legs out in front of us for Paschimottanasana. So I'm going to turn my body so you can see me. And you might need to open the legs wider than usual to make room for baby. So inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips and come forward into your fold or walk your hands in front of you nice and slow. If you have a strap or a towel or a blanket you'd like to wrap around your feet, that's an option. Or you can just let your hands come to your legs or the earth and relax. Continuing to breathe. With each exhale, just furthering that release, that surrender. Letting the earth completely support you in this fold. Two more breaths here, allowing yourself to release and let go of anything that's no longer serving you and baby. And slowly walk your hands back up to neutral. Now we're going to come into Setu Bandhasana supported bridge. So I invite you to use some props to make this super comfortable. I like to use a rolled up blanket for under the hips. You could also use a bolster. You also could use a block or some eggs. It might be a little bit more pressure. So play around with what props are available to you, and most importantly, what feels good to you. So I'm actually going to set up my blanket here first. And you might want some blocks for your feet. It really just depends on your body size and what feels good. So to come down, it's really important that we give our abdominal muscles a rest. So we don't really want to roll down like we normally would in another traditional yoga class. So what we're going to do is kind of come onto one hip and then walk our hands down into a fetal position and then roll onto the back. So you might need to adjust the placement of the blanket. That's okay. And then you might want to put your feet on blocks as well. Just make sure you're super comfortable and that you feel supported. Supported bridge pose. So just relax here and breathe. There's nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to be. Just breathe here. You can play with the placement of your hands, cactus arms, or above your head. Whatever feels good as we begin to wind down our practice. And when you feel complete, we're going to roll onto one side, back into a fetal position. Come up, and then remove any blankets or bolsters from the mat before we move into Happy Baby. Before we come back onto our backs, it's really important for pregnant women, especially in the second and third trimesters, to avoid lying on their backs for too long, because the weight of the baby can put so much pressure on the vena cava, a really important blood vessel. So we're going to stay here for about 3 breaths and then come out of it. So to come into Happy Baby, we're going to come back into our fetal position, come onto our backs, feet are on the floor, knees to the sky. Bring the knees towards the shoulders, towards the armpits, feet towards the sky. You can hold on to the calves, the thighs, the outside of the foot or the big toe. It might feel good to rock side to side. It might feel good just to stay here. Just breathe. Again, allowing yourself to feel supported and also connecting to the nature of this pose. Happy Baby. Knowing that the baby you carry is happy and healthy, and so are you. And to come out of this, bringing the feet back to the earth, coming side to a fetal position, and slowly pressing ourselves with our hands back up to seated. Next, we're going to come into Viparita Karani, legs up the wall. So let's get ourselves set up with some props, because like I mentioned, it's important that we're not laying on our back for too long to prevent the vena cava from compressing. And that would prevent blood from moving. We want that blood flowing, we want that chi, that energy, all the good stuff. So I still have my blanket in the center of my mat and it's against the wall. I'm going to take that folded blanket, right? It's folded in half and half again. And then I'm going to take it into thirds to make it nice and elevated. I'm going to place that about here for my shoulders. And then I'm going to take my bolster for my head. So depending on how long your torso is going to affect the positioning of your props. So do the best you can. If you need to make adjustments, that's okay. So to come into the Viparita Karani, I'm going to set up my booty as close to the wall as possible. And then I'm just going to lay down and send my feet up to the sky with my hips on the floor. So I just kind of squeegee my way in. My setup is just how I like it, the blanket under my shoulder blades and the bolster under my head, so that we are supported. So you can bring your arms out to the side, check in, make sure this feels good for you, and just breathe here, being fully supported. Relaxing deeper and deeper. Both you and baby are safe, supported, and grounded. You have everything you need. And we're going to stay here for 10 more rounds of breath at your own pace. See if you can relax any more in your legs, in your hips, in your back, in your face. And when you've completed your 10 rounds of breath, bend your knees towards your body and then gently come over to the side into a fetal position, using your hands to press yourself back up to seated so that we can prepare for Shavasana, our final resting pose. So for Shavasana, we have several options available to us. One option is to come into a fetal position on our side using whatever props would be supportive and comfortable to you. So one option, if we're going to come into a fetal Shavasana, is to take a blanket and make it like a pillow for our head, and then a bolster or a blanket to support our legs. So again, using my hands to come down gently onto my side. Wow, this blanket is a perfect height for my neck. And then maybe taking a bolster in between the legs, making any adjustments to feel comfortable here. If that's not comfortable for you, another option would be to take a blanket and roll it like a burrito, and then coming back down, placing this between the ankles and up toward the knees for a nice support as well. So that's one option. If you'd like to stay there, get comfortable. I'm going to provide a couple of options as well. If you would like to be on your back, but not directly on your back. So what we're going to do is take 2 blocks. One block is going to go the tallest way, and the next block is going to go on its side. And then I'm going to take my bolster and lay it on a diagonal like so. So that I am supported and not putting too much compression on that vena cava. So I'm going to bring my booty as close to the bolster as possible and then lay back. It's very nice. Now, one option here is to bring the legs into Baddha Konasana, where I take my heels, the soles of my feet together, and open the knees like a book. That might be really comfortable to you. You also might want to take the eggs or a blanket. I could also take a blanket the long way and roll it up like a burrito and bring it around under my knees for some support. Like that. Oh, so comfy. Another option, if this is not inviting to you, that's okay as well. You could extend the legs in front of you. You could also use blankets or another bolster under the knees for support. That's another option. Or you could even take yoga eggs. and place those under the knees as well. So you have so many options here. Now I invite you just to get super comfortable into your final relaxation pose. And let the body just absorb all the work that you've put in today's practice. Allow your body to completely relax. And just let your breathing return to normal. Just relax. Close the eyes and relax. Just breathe. Slowly start to wake yourself up by wiggling fingers and wiggling toes. Gently activating those muscles, maybe with some wrist circles or flexing and pointing the toes. Maybe bringing your arms overhead for a full body stretch. And then if you're not already in a fetal position on your side, gently, ever so slowly, roll onto the side, any side that's comfortable. And taking a couple of breaths here. And when you feel ready, using your hands to press yourself up to seated, coming into a comfortable seated position such as Sukhasana, easy pose, keeping the eyes closed. Feeling gratitude for taking this time to practice today. Feeling gratitude for health and life and the amazing miracle of life. Let's take a deep breath in, extending our arms out to the sides and up toward the sky. Hands meet together. Exhale, hands come to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Thank you, thank you, thank you. May you be happy and healthy. May you be peaceful and well. May you be strong and safe. And may we all live with ease and well-being. Let's take our thumbs to our third eye and we'll bow as we say namaste. Thank you so much for letting me guide you in today's prenatal yoga class. I really appreciate you being here, for taking the time. And like I mentioned at the beginning of class, if you are interested in more yoga, asana practice, spirituality, health tips, recipes, overall guidance on creating and building a life worth living, please check out the Healthy Dynamic Divas membership group. Link is in the description, and you can see everything, including over $8,000 worth of courses and coaching with a complimentary 7-day trial. Thank you so much, and I wish you a happy, healthy, and dynamic day. Bye.